What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman here, breaking down the Minnesota Vikings pick in the third round, and that being Maryland wide receiver Tai Felton, the 6'1", 183-pound wideout. He was listed at 188 at his pro day. Production this past season had over 1,100 yards for Maryland in 2024, and then in 2023 he had 723 yards as well. But how did the Vikings get to pick 102? So they actually traded with the Houston Texans. I feel like the Nick Caserio and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah have traded like 4 times over the last couple of years, but this was the deal. The Vikings gave up pick number 97, third-round pick, and then they also gave up pick number 187. This was coming in from the Jordan Mason trade, sent that over to Houston, but the Vikings were actually able to pick up an extra fourth-round pick here, pick 102, obviously where they took Tai Felton, and then they also got pick 142. So the Vikings tomorrow have 139, 142, and that's it. So coming up here in just a second, we'll break down Tai Felton. But if you guys could, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We have been live all draft here on YouTube. So hopefully you guys have tuned in, but we're reacting to every single pick. I mean, Shedeur Sanders not getting drafted on day 2. It's been a wild time here. So if you guys could, hit that subscribe button today. Help us reach our next milestone of 57,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button, and let's just dive into Tai Felton here. So the good on Tai Felton. He's had steady growth in production over his last 3 years in college. He is 22 years old. Tom Downey, our NFL draft analyst here, actually used to host Vikings now, if you guys remember Tom. But he says he's got sleeper upside. We had a 4th or 5th round grade on him, so a little bit of a reach here. But I was shocked that the Vikings, first off, went wide receiver in this spot. Like, now you're looking at this wide receiver room where you obviously got Jefferson, Addison, you picked up Rondale Moore, you still got Jalen Nailor, now you throw Tai Felton into the fold. I'm assuming those are going to be your 5 wideouts that make the final 53-man roster. But more good here. It's actually hilarious. His athletic comp that Tom Downey has from is C.J. Goodwin, who actually switched to cornerback, and he's been a long-time special teamer. So maybe the Vikes see a special teamer here, but the good news on him, he ran a 4.37 40-yard dash, had a 40-inch vertical, and he also has some red zone ability. He had 8 touchdowns in the red zone this past season. But this is also what Dane Brugler had to say on Tai Felton, saying Felton has explosive speed to be a weapon in the quick game and downfield, which gives him NFL starting potential as a Z receiver. His special teams experience will only boost his chances of cementing a spot on an NFL depth chart. And I'm guessing with the Vikings taking pick 102 on him, probably going to make the team, probably be the 5th receiver on the roster, battle it out with Rondale Moore and Jalen Nailor. The only thing I don't love about this, archetype of receiver that Felton is, that burner, is he's kind of similar to Rondale Moore, who we just picked up. So there's kind of some overlap there, but some bad for Tai Felton. He did have 3 fumbles back in 2023. Not good as a contested catcher. He was 7 for 18, 39% this year, and his career 38.5. He also has drop issues, had 8 drops, which was 7.7% of his targets. So not too good there, but he also was using the screen game a whole lot at Maryland. I know you guys are going to have a lot of thoughts on this pick. I think this was a sneaky good selection by the Vikings, but you guys let me know. Grade the pick for me down below in the comment section. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to have to give this one a B. Interesting that the Vikings went wide receiver here. Maybe they just want to give themselves more insurance. If Jordan Addison's suspension, maybe they're getting word that it could be maybe 4 or 5 games instead of the 2 to 3 number, but maybe this is just a BPA pick for the Vikes. And, if we all want to stay true to what we were saying before the draft, where I want the Vikings to go BPA at every single pick. I know we all want a corner. I know we all want another defensive tackle, a safety even. But clearly the Vikings have faith in 2 guys. This is what this pick's telling me. Theo Jackson, Mekhi Blackman. Clearly the Vikings have faith in both those guys. But an interesting pick that they went wide receiver. Now here's his production this past season. In 12 games played, almost put up 1,200 yards. 1,124 to be exact. He was targeted 143 times, caught 96 of those passes, and he did have 9 touchdowns, 8 of those coming in the red zone, and he averaged 11.7 yards per clip. Now, he has a slender frame, no doubt about it. He's 6'1", 183 pounds. He is a senior this past season. slender frame, needs to be more physical. Tight coverage does give him issues, but I'll tell you what, when you're playing next to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, that should not be an issue with both of those guys. But definitely, I think the biggest shocker here for everybody is that they did decide to go wide receiver. Like, I was kind of joking around about it when we were live here. I was like, maybe they go running back, maybe go receiver, but I just still thought they were going to target somebody on the defensive side of the football, whether it's a safety, a corner, or a defensive tackle. But man, yeah, they go Tai Felton on this one. It's an interesting pick. I'll give you guys more thoughts on this here in a second. But first, got to give a massive shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Factor Meals. And if you guys want to get started, go to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and use code VikingsChat50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code VikingsChat50off at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Now, if you guys want to make this your best season yet with 2-minute meals from Factor, eating well has never been this easy. All you do is just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. Now, get outside instead of prepping and cooking indoors. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat. Perfect for any active lifestyle. Now, here covering the Minnesota Vikings at Chat Sports, I don't always feel like, making a home-cooked meal every single day. And, especially working long hours for the NFL Draft, Factors came in and has completely changed my life. And it powers me throughout my day with satisfying breakfast options, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and they actually have guilt-free snacks and desserts. So it's easy to savor more this spring. Factor Meals, pack in the flavor with none of the fuss. So get started at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off and use code VikingsChat50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code VikingsChat50off at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring today's show. Got that link for you guys in the comments section and description of today's video, so give them a look and check them out. But massive shout out to Factor. All right, so Tai Felton, the pick at 102 for the Minnesota Vikings. I'll tell you what. I thought maybe they were going to go corner. Thought they were maybe going to go safety, maybe defensive tackle. But I thought it was very interesting that is this a Kevin O'Connell draft? Like, I understand Vikings were in a spot to go BPA. But them going Donovan Jackson. Okay, you solidify the offensive line. And then they go and get Tai Felton. You get another receiver who's probably going to be your fourth or fifth receiver on the roster this upcoming season. I wonder if this was Kevin O'Connell almost pounding the table for these guys. But this guy's a burner, man. He ran a 4.37 40-yard dash, a freaky vertical jump. So, hey, Tai Felton, welcome to Minnesota. If you guys want to welcome him, hit me with a skull down below in the comments section. But, I understand people wanted to go running back maybe. I'm fine with the running back room. Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, they're both going to stay fresh. They'll be interchangeable. I'm a big fan of that. And you already solidified that offensive line. And now you're looking at this whole group offensively. To be specific, there's really no holes on that side of the football. Like, after the Donovan Jackson pick, you're looking at this Vikings offensive line like it should be a top 5 unit in the league. Like, this guy at the left guard spot, next to Christian Darrisaw, you picked up Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, and you also got Brian O'Neill. There is no excuse for the Vikings, even if J.J. McCarthy is a disaster. I still think this should be a top 15 offense because of the talent around him. I mean, J.J., the run game should carry this offense. And it's so crazy how quickly this has flipped, where it's like, last season, like we had to put all the pressure on Sam Darnold. Like, our advantage every single time on the outside was Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson. We had to go to those playmakers over and over again. But now, since you're going, two offensive guys, like, if J.J. McCarthy hits, let's say J.J. McCarthy has a Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud-esque first year starting. This team's a problem. This offense is a problem. And I think with them going 2 offensive players here, 1, maybe that Asante Samuel stuff is real. 2, what if they have a trade for Jalen Ramsey? And they're going to wait till after the draft or wait till after post-June 1 so it's easier for the Dolphins to trade him. Just a little shocked that they went offense with the first 2 picks, very limited picks too. It's the Vikings, even though after that trade with the Texans, it's you still only got 4 picks in the draft, which is still funny. So we got 2 more picks. 139, 142. So that'll be fun to break down tomorrow. So if you guys want to tune in, please hit that subscribe button, tune into the channel. But no excuses for Kevin O'Connell with those two guys. You got Donovan Jackson, you get Tai Felton, and I don't even know, like Tai Felton could maybe never see the field this year with how stacked the wide receiver room is. You also picked up Rondo Moore. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think they're showing a lot of faith in two guys, Theo Jackson, Mekhi Blackman. That's my biggest takeaways from the Vikings going Donovan Jackson and Tai Felton with their first two picks. But if you guys also want to hit me up on Twitter, at Pat Sieps is a handle. Give me a follow over there, and we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And we will see you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.